Hi all. In this session, let's learn about introduction to operating systems. As a part of introduction, let's start with definition of operating system. An operating system or OS is a program that acts as an intermediate between a user of a computer and the computer hardware. But what does intermediate means? It means that the operating system acts like a bridge. The user gives instruction. The operating system receives those instructions, then it communicates with the computer hardware such as CPU, memory, keyboard, and storage to perform the requested task by the user. Without operating system, user cannot directly interact with the computer hardware. The goals of operating systems are: the first goal is to execute the user program and make solving user problems easier. For example, when you open Microsoft Word or a web browser, the operating system loads the application into memory, allocates the required resources, and starts its execution. The second goal is to make the computer system convenient to use. Here, users do not need to know how the hardware works internally. Instead, they simply click icon, type commands, or touch the screen, and the operating system handles all the complex tasks in the background. The third goal is to use the computer hardware in an efficient manner. The operating system manages the CPU, memory, storage devices, input-output devices so that the multiple program can run smoothly without wasting system resources. Now let's check out few examples for operating systems. The first comes Microsoft Windows, which is commonly used on personal computers and laptops. Next, Mac OS. Mac OS was developed by Apple for Mac computers. Next, Chrome OS. It is developed by Google for Chromebooks. Ubuntu, a popular Linux-based operating system that is free and open source. Next, FreeBSD. It is a Unix-like operating system known for its stability and security. Next, BlackBerry OS, an operating system that was used in BlackBerry smartphones. Next, iOS. It is Apple's mobile operating system for iPhones. Next, Symbian OS, an older mobile operating system used mainly in Nokia smartphones. Next, Android. It is Google's mobile operating system used in most of the smartphones. Finally, Unix. It is a powerful multi-user operating system widely used in servers and workstations. Next, we can learn about computer system structures. Computer system structure is made up of four major components of a computer system. They work together to perform tasks that we do on a computer. Let's understand each component one by one. The first component is the user. The user is a person who operates the computer. The user interacts with different application programs to perform computing activities such as creating documents, browsing the internet, watching videos, or sending emails. So without user, there is no instructions for the computer to execute. The second component is application programs. Application programs are software designed to perform specific tasks for the user. Some common example includes Microsoft Word for document editing, PowerPoint presentations, Gmail for sending mail communication, VLC player for playing videos, Microsoft Excel for spreadsheet actions, Google Chrome for web browsing. So these application uses system resources provided by the operating system to complete the user task. The third component is operating system. The operating system acts as a bridge between the application program and the computer hardware. Its main responsibilities are to manage the hardware resources such as CPU, memory, and storage, and to coordinate the usage of hardware resources among multiple application programs. For example, If you are listening to music while preparing a presentation, the operating system ensures that both applications are running smoothly without interfering with each other. The fourth component is computer hardware. Hardware refers to physical parts of the computer. For example, CPU, monitor, memory, RAM, keyboard, mouse, speaker, printer, and so on. The hardware provides the fundamental computing resources needed to execute the programs. However, these components work together. Let's see how these four components interact. The user gives instructions using an application program. Application program requests services from the operating system. The operating system communicates with the computer hardware to execute the requested task. Finally, the result is displayed back to the user. So, every task in a computer follows this sequence. That is, user to application program to OS, OS to computer hardware, and finally, the result has been displayed to the user. We can view a computer system as consisting of hardware, software, and data. OS provides a means of proper use of these resources in operation of computer system. It simply provides an environment within which other programs can do useful works. Now let's learn about operating system from two viewpoints. The first comes user view. The user view refers to how user interact with the computer through the operating system. Different devices have different way of interacting with the user. Therefore, the user experience also changes. Let's consider personal computer and laptops. Most user works on personal computer or laptop where one user controls all the system resources. For example, when you open the Microsoft Word or browse the internet using Chrome, or if you're watching a video, the operating system manages these tasks for single user. The main goal here is to help out the user to complete their work efficiently and conveniently. The operating system is designed mostly for ease of use with some attention to performance and security, and with less importance for resource utilization, because the computer is usually dedicated to one user here in this type. The next comes mobile devices. Nowadays, many people use smartphones and tablets instead of desktop computer. These mobile devices are connected via cellular or wireless technologies. Unlike user laptops, they use a touch screen interfaces. They interact via pressing, swiping, scrolling, pinching, and so on. Many smartphones also support voice interfaces. For example, you can simply say, "Hey Siri, call mom," or "Hey Google, open YouTube." The operating system understands the voice command and performs the requested actions. The next comes embedded system. Some computers have little or no direct interaction with the user. So these are called as embedded system. So a few examples for embedded systems are washing machine, microwave oven, air conditioner, car, smart TVs, and so on. So these are home devices and automobiles. These devices usually have simple controls such as buttons and keypads or indicator lights with small displays. Once they started, they perform their task automatically without continuous user involvement. Now we can learn about system view. From computer point of view, the operating system is the software that works closest to the hardware. Whenever an application needs to use a CPU, memory, storage, or any input-output devices, it cannot access the hardware directly. Instead, it sends a request to operating system, and the operating system communicates with the hardware. Yes, Operating system as a resource allocator is one of the important role of operating system is that it acts as the resource allocator. The computer has many resources such as CPU time, memory space, storage, I/O devices, and etc. Many programs may request these resources at same time. The operating system decides which program gets the CPU, how much memory each program receives, which program can use an input or output devices, which resource should be allocated and released. Its goal is to use all the resources efficiently and fairly. So every program gets chance to execute. The operating system must handle conflicting resources requests from the user and program. Sometimes multiple programs request the same resources at same time. For example, imagine you are printing a document, downloading a file, and listening to the music at same time. All these applications need system resources simultaneously. The operating system manages these requests and resolves conflicting by deciding the order in which resources are allocated. This ensures that all programs run smoothly without interfering with each other. The next point is operating system is also a control program. That is, the OS also acts as a control program. Its responsibility is to manage the execution of user program. It monitors every program to prevent error during its execution, improper use of system resources, action that may affect the stability of computer. So this helps the entire system reliable and secure. It also controls the input and output devices. So it is called as control program. The operating system is especially responsible for controlling the input and output or I/O devices. For example, keyboard, mouse, monitor, printer, hard disk, USB devices, and so on. Whenever an application needs to read a data from keyboard or print a document in a printer, it communicates with the operating system. The operating system then controls the hardware and completes the requested operations. Finally, let's check out the operating system definition. The term operating system covers many roles and functions due to the variety in computer design and uses. Computers are found in toasters, cars, ships, spacecraft, home, business, and even more. They are used in game machines, cable TV tuners, industrial control systems, and etc. A common definition and that one we usually follow is that the operating system is one program running all the time on the computer. Usually it is called as the kernel. Along with the kernel, there are two other types of programs. The first comes system program, which are associated with the operating system but are not necessarily part of the kernel. The next comes application program, which includes all programs not associated with the operating system. Today, mobile OS includes more features. For example, middleware software frameworks that provide additional services to application developers such as database, multimedia, and graphics. Both iOS and Android include kernel and also the middleware. So hope you are clear with introduction to operating system. Next we can learn about computer startup. So how does the operating system starts? The answer is bootstrap program. Yes, let's understand the computer startup process step by step here. What happens when the computer is turned on? So whenever you press the power button or restart the computer, the operating system is not yet loaded into the memory. So the computer first executes a small program called as bootstrap program. This program is responsible for starting the entire computer system. where the Bootstrap programming is stored. Yes, it is stored in ROM, which stands for read-only memory, or EPROM, which stands for erasable programmable read-only memory. Since it is permanently stored on the motherboard, it is available every time the computer is power on. The software is commonly called as firmware. We have two steps here. The first one is initializing the system. So once a Bootstrap program starts, its first job is to initialize all the hardware component. It checks whether the important devices are working properly, such as CPU, main memory, keyboard, mouse, storage devices, displays, and so on. This process ensures that the hardware is ready before loading the operating system. Step 2 is loading the operating system kernel. After the hardware is initialized, the Bootstrap program searches for the operating system kernel, which is stored on the hard disk or SSD. The kernel is a core part of the operating system. The Bootstrap program loads the kernel into the computer's main memory, which is also called as RAM. Next, it starts its execution. That is, it starts the operating system. Once the kernel is loaded into memory, it begins its execution. The operating system takes the control of computer and performs tasks such as managing memory, managing process, controlling input and output devices, providing the user interface to the user. And finally, the login screen or desktop appears to the computer, which is ready for the use to the user. So hope you are clear in introduction to operating system. Thank you all.